This is WarCry. WarCry for Our Children, where the street meets the sanctuary and purpose meets power. Join me, Elder M, intercessor, street evangelist, prayer warrior, advocator for justice. We stand in the gap in the streets, in the courtyards, in the schoolyards, in the church, and on the block. This ain't just prayer. It's intercession. It's advocacy. We deal with real problems. Criminal justice, social justice, gun violence, social media, catfishing, human trafficking, mental illness, education disparities. We deal with it all here on WarCry. Our community has a voice. It's called WarCry. Each week, we link arms with community leaders, educators, pastors, parents calling out injustice. This is WarCry. This is not just a podcast. It's more than a moment. This is a movement. Join us. Let's give a voice to the problem and be the solution. I'm trying not to lose my head. It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep on going. WarCry. We're going to speak out for our children. Let freedom ring? No. There cannot be freedom until there's justice. WarCry, join us Mondays, 11 a.m. I'm just about to lose my mind. This is WarCry. They're trying to turn time back. But let us get out and give a voice to the problem. This is WarCry. Join us, be with us, or be gone. Don't push us. This is WarCry. Trying not to lose my head. It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under. We're not going under. This is WarCry. This is WarCry, and we're glad that you decided to join us. This is a youth summit. This is a panel. This is advocacy. This is us coming together to make a sound. This is WarCry. WarCry for our children. WarCry for our young men. WarCry for our women. WarCry for our babies. This is a cry out for help. One people, only us. Who can fix our problem? Only we can address the problems in the Black community. Why? Because there are problems and no one else is trying to help us. You know, they want to lock us up. They want to push us aside. They want to take our rights. We must come together and fix our problems. Marvin Gaye said it like this. What's going on? I don't know. Hopefully after today, someone can tell me our communities are falling apart. We need to come together as a people to make a difference. This is WarCry, and I'm glad you decided to join us. I'm glad you decided to subscribe. I'm glad you decided to share, because this is an urban podcast for us, we the people. Let's bring the panel on. I am so excited about today because we're going to talk about some exciting things today. So let us bring the panel on. Hello, everyone. Hello. This is WarCry. Hello. I want you to get excited about today, because we're going to talk about some real change.
Good evening.
Good evening. Is Rakeem on here? Do I see Rakeem? Has Rakeem joined us yet? He's going to be our host. He may be coming on now. Rakeem?
Yes, I'm here, but I got
okay. I am so. Oh, you got two photos. Okay, it's okay.
No, but
okay, let's go.
I'm gonna exit and come back in. It's echoing.
Okay. Let's go to our first video. Now I'm going to need everyone just to mute right now until we can get this echo out. Just mute right now. Let's go to our first video.
We all agreed tonight, all of the speakers have agreed that America has a very serious problem. Not only does America have a very serious problem, but our people have a very serious problem. America's problem is self-destruction. Headed for self-destruction. Self-destruction. Headed for self-destruction. Self-destruction. Headed for self-destruction. Self-destruction. Headed for self-destruction.
Well, today's topic, destruction. It really ain't the rap audience is bugging. It's one or two suckers, ignorant brothers, trying to rob and steal from one another. Get caught in the mid. So to crush that stereotype, here's what we did. We got ourselves together so that you can unite and fight for what's right. Not negative cause. The way we live is positive. We don't kill our relatives.
Pop, 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 when it's shot, who's to blame? Headlines, front page, and raps the name. MC tonight here to state the bottom line. The black on black crime is way before our time.
Took a brother's life with a knife and fight. Cried cause he died. China instead when he left. Was not slept, so watch your step. Back in the 60s, our sisters would hang. How could you gang bang? I never ran from my skin, and I shouldn't have to run from a black man. Cause that's self-destruction. Headed for self-destruction. Self-destruction. Headed for self-destruction. Self-destruction. Headed for self-destruction. Self-destruction.
Let's bring the panel back in now. Let's bring the panel in. Self-destruction. Self-destruction. We're headed for self-destruction. All right, let's bring the panel back in. This is a serious matter. And we've got to talk about this. How many of you know or believe that we're headed for self-destruction? Who wants to tackle this question? Come on, panel. I need you to speak up.
You know what? I'll speak up. Good evening, everybody. How are you all this evening? To our audience, I felt compelled to speak up because that song came out during my time when I was probably a young adult, teenager. I'm aging myself a little bit in this conversation, but I remember that song so vividly because during that time it was the rolling out of the opening of the drug epidemic that was hitting our streets, and many of our young people were falling victims, whether it be to the drug epidemic, whether them being involved in gangs, and so many things that is not new to what we are experiencing now. There's so many of our young people who are in the same throes of the same situations now, whether it be drugs, whether it be now mental illness, whether it be gang related, or whether it being a part of things or what is it, groups that are unproductive. And if we as a community don't speak to, we don't participate in trying to change or shift that, then the same song that we can play back from the 90s or the early 2000s will still resonate now. And so that heading to self-destruction, unfortunately, is a place that we could potentially be going if we as a community don't do the work.
Absolutely. 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 I hear you.
We can't hear you, Elder.
Can't hear you.
Just introduce yourself with your husband and tell us a little bit about your ministry.
Absolutely. I am Pastor Lakeisha Collender, and this is my husband, Pastor Chris Collender. We are the senior leaders of Kingdom International Ministries. Well, our ministry, we have the pleasure of pastoring a great deal of young people who we work tirelessly to make sure that they are not headed in the direction of self-destruction. The reality is many of our young people are nowadays, whether we like it or not, they are exposed to negative situations, circumstances, people, whether it be via social media, whether it be with they, when they go to school, there are the exposure is beyond what we can stop at this point. And so what we do here at Kingdom International Ministry is we create space for our young people to expand, to grow, to find safety, to find their place of the place where they identity. And we pride ourselves in being transparent. I can say for myself and Pastor Chris, we are not novices to things that have transpired in the street. We didn't just get saved because we had nothing else to do, but we were saved because we were headed in the place of self-destruction. But we were brought in, and now what we desire to do is make sure that the young people that we come across don't fall into the entrapment that we were saved from. So yeah,
Okay.
that's
Okay, I see Mr. Tillman. Are you on the line? Are you on the line? I see you there, son. What do you
Yeah,
think about it? Are we headed for self-destruction? Introduce yourself.
yeah. Good evening, everybody. My name is Shakur Tillman, and I'm 19 years old. So this is something that I be thinking about a lot. This topic, probably I feel like my generation is lost, and we don't. There's certain things that we value that we shouldn't, and there's other things that we supposed to be valuing that don't mean anything to us because we've been brainwashed through social media and a lot of other things to think a certain way, feel a certain way, not thinking
Mm,
another way. So
okay. Rakeem, how about you? Are we headed? This is our guest panel speaker today. He has Hood Therapy. I thought that was such a unique name, Hood Therapy. I've heard of Christian therapy, I've heard of mental therapy, but Hood Therapy. Rakeem, what do you think? Introduce yourself to the audience. Are we headed for self-destruction?
Hi everybody, my name is Rakim. I'm on the fence about it because it's like we headed there, but if we have enough pioneers to stop us from heading there, I think it may be something that we can possibly stop, if it makes
Mm,
sense.
so you don't think it's too late? Okay, let's go to the next video,
It's
which is going to introduce us to Hood Therapy. Let's go to the next video. Self-destruction.
Building with the guys in your community is also therapy because a lot of guys in my community, they know me, they know my trials and tribulations, they know I would never put them in a messed up situation. They know I have their best interests at heart, and I'm like a learning, walking experience. You know what I mean? When I left my hood, I was 17. I came home 23. So a lot of the young kids, they really look up to me, and they see that I changed my life around. I'm doing what I need to do. You know what I mean? They see me making my little clothes. They buy my clothes up. They see me changing lives, working on just, bettering my community. Like once a month, I take them out. We go to pool. We go bowling. Treat them like you're my guys. Family's important. Building's important. You ain't gotta be blood to be family. This is where the Know Your Rights training started. This is where I first became a youth organizer, a new leader. It was like I had good experiences here, man. A lot of good experiences before this, man. So before I met this job, I was just out in the streets just doing crazy stuff. Actually, the dude I was talking to, that's like he was one of my little crime partners, because we used to take cribs, squatter cribs and stuff like that. This is the only hood Chinese restaurant next to the liquor store that do not deliver. They don't play that. I feel like I'm already healed. So my healing really comes from like helping the youth in the community, giving them jobs, helping them like if anything. You can't pay your phone bill, I'll pull up on them. I do phone bill support, and we get them equity funds. So that's like $600 a month for like 8 families since COVID hit. I design my own clothes. This is VGHA, which stands for Victoria Girl Association. This is something that's going to be long lived for my mom. My mom passed away from cancer, so I feel like I'm building her legacy for me and my daughter. So when it's time for me to just go about my business, my daughter got something that she can look forward to. Be a part of. My stillements support me.
How you feeling, my guy? What you fucking with? Video? Yeah, they just talking about that. Facts, do your thing, man. You know I love you. You know the hood love you. That's a fact, bro. Do your thing, man. The hood love him. That's a fact. Do your thing, my guy. It's my guy. Make sure you good. That's a
Appreciate it, man.
You know that. It's his hood.
I feel like the credible messenger 10 years from now, it'll be good where we can police our own community. You know what I mean? And it may be light police presence for things that we can't solve, but things that we can solve. We can take back the community, give them resources. Just give them a better opportunity, especially when they come down to cure violence, because at the end of the day, it's like the credible messenger and cure violence go hand in hand. So if we can stop the minute altercations in the hood, we don't really need the police for real. We can do that ourselves. You know what I mean? Even there's been many altercations that I stopped. Just someone go next. No police is called. When they see each other next time, they give each other a pound and went about their business. So I know that. And then the heavy police presence, it makes the community weary, especially when everybody getting killed. You don't know if they're gonna hop out and kill you or not, man. So that's another thing, man. It's like for that 10 years, man. That 10 years is gonna be a beautiful thing. Hopefully, I have VGHA off the ground and fully running and doing what it needs to be done. And that process of time.
Hood therapy. Back at you, Rakeem. Back at you. Tell us how you came up with hood therapy. Give us a little bit about your past. How do you know the streets so well? How can you speak the language and think that we can police ourselves and we don't need to po around? Come on. How many people on the panel think we need the police? Raise your hand. How many people really feel that we need the police? How many people feel that we can police ourselves? That we can build community and police ourselves? Raise your hand if you think we can police ourselves. Because we need an answer. Because guess what? We don't have community blocks anymore. We don't have community organizations. So the police got to police us because we can get out of control. At you, Rakeem, tell us a little something about hood therapy and your theory to police ourselves, and give us some of your background.
All right, so I'm gonna give you my background. My name is Rakim Covington.
And give us your street name. Give us your street name.
My street name is Greasy Valentine. I'm formerly incarcerated. I've been in the streets since I was 12, 13 years old. So a lot of things that you have seen or heard before, I've probably 9 times 10 I've done. I did one of my cases put me away for 5 years. So I was going from 2010, came back home. Still was dibbling dabbling in the streets, but I found a calling. My first big opportunity was the Center for New Leadership. At that time, Dr. Devon Pryor and Eddie Ellis was there. Devon, I feel like it was more Devon, brought me in under his wing. and there I experienced everything. I learned know your rights training. I did so much work in the community. I feel like a big part of me in that community was what introduced the center to the community. I was the liaison person. They was in the community before I got released, but I feel like so when they brought me in, that's when the community actually knew exactly what they have done. And from there I gained so much tools. I went from this small to being the field coordinator. Um and that's my little background.
Okay, now let me ask a couple questions. So
Mhm.
you first your first interaction with the police force was when you were 12. Is that what I heard?
Well, I've been outside since I was 12. My first interaction possibly came from like 13, 14, little scuffle and scrapes with the law at that time. And it's not, I don't know for anybody else, but like for certain people, like your first interaction won't be your last. You know what I'm saying? So, and then like,
But why do you feel that way? Why do you feel that your first interaction won't be your last?
okay, so all right, so if you live in your life on the edge, I'm gonna revise. You live in your life on the edge, your first interaction won't be your last. So usually, people who dibble and dabble in the streets, some way somehow they will get incarcerated. May you be on Rikers Island, may you go upstate New York. You know what I mean? One of the few. And if you go upstate New York, and come home, your objective is never to go back. So with that being said, I did 5 years, and mentally for me, I said I gotta do 10 years plus in the street to gain back the 5 years they took from me. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So I've been home almost, my daughter about to be 16. I've been home almost 16 years.
Okay, tell me, how was it when you was locked up? Did they send you to
Um,
a juvenile facility or did they
no,
send you
at that
upstate?
time, I believe at that time, raise the age wasn't a big thing. So 17 years old, you went to Rikers Island. Now, but if you was fell in the bracket of raise the age, 17 years old, you go to juvie. So they happened to send me to Rikers Island. Right on Rikers Island from 17. I stood up for a little minute, going back and forth to court. I eventually turned 18. And July 19, 2006 is when I copped out. And August 13, 2006 is when they sent me upstate. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So my first spot being at I had a high classification. At that time, you used to go three places. At that time, either if you're low classification, you go to Ulster. High classification, you go to downstate, and if you was upstate in the areas living, you go to Elmira, and so on and so forth. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? And so my first actual jail was Washington Correctional Facility,
Mm.
and then from there I started bouncing around because I, to be honest and be transparent, I was in a gang. So usually young gang members or gang members period, when you go to jail, the gang violence continues. Whether or not, because you gotta understand, it just got better around them times, because from like the 90s to the early 2000s, it was the Hispanics and blacks going at it with each other. You know what I'm saying? So it just got better, but it was still, things would still go down, and then you had the black on black crime, so things of that nature.
Okay, okay.
Mhm.
Shakur, do you want to come in and just give us a little history, maybe about your background as well now?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I was waiting for him to finish speaking because I was relating to a lot of the things he just said. Because what he went through, I just currently, and I'm still going through it. I was my first time being incarcerated was 15, so I was in juvenile for 11 months. Then I came home. I was home for like 4 or 5 months. Then I went back for like another 8 months. Then I came home. I finished the year on probation. I was doing good. I was 17. I turned 18. I have my daughter. My daughter is one now. She just turned one, April 13th, like 2 weeks ago. But while she went during her birthday, I just came home. I was released 2 weeks ago now. I just came home from doing 11 months on Rikers Island. So
How was Rikers Island? Can you share that with us, son? How was it?
it was pretty much what he just said, but like it's like now it's like kind of like more like it's more like disgusting. Like it's no COs is foul. And like he says, like it's more like because I was like he said, I'm still trying to get out of like being an active gang member. So I was kind of known for that. So I had to. It was a lot of things I had to do. I just came home from solitary confinement. I was there for 3 months. Cause like he said, like when you're an active gang member, some things you gotta partake in. But I'm trying to get away from that now because I just got released 2 weeks ago, and I'm trying to take care of my daughter. And it's just a lot going on with that, and just trying to get my head above water and get back because it's like I got to start all over again.
And Shakar, we're going to introduce you. I want to make sure that you and Rakeem, you guys connect. I met this young man. He's shaking his head. Yes, this is a powerful, powerful brother. Now, my question that I want to start with is, and this is for everybody to answer it, is that why do young people carry guns? We know that over the last couple of weeks, we've been hearing about 15-year-olds, 14-year-olds. The younger group now are carrying guns. Could you just everybody on the panel, I want you guys to be last. I'm gonna start with you, Peggy. Why do young people carry guns? Peggy. Kiki. Someone
Yes.
jump it. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I think young people carry guns because of the examples that they're following. A lot of times it makes them feel like it's like a lot of it's ego, it's pride, it's those type of things, but also they use it as a form of protection. Obviously not what we want to see happening within our neighborhoods, but it's this like show of like no matter like feeling like they could hold their own and feeling like they have to do that on their own. And it goes back to kind of what was being said earlier about how communities need to come together to like look out for each other, and like there needs to be, I feel, even a collaboration between the police and the community, so that way there's like a working together and not this battle against each other to do what's best for the community, so that way you don't have these young people walking around feeling like they have to protect themselves from each other. I feel like there needs to be a better collaboration.
Now, Kiki, while you're here, tell us a little something about your ministry.
Yes. So I have a ministry called Pray for Hip Hop. We've been praying for the hip hop community for the last 14 years. It's something God put on my heart just to be able to see Him infiltrate in hip hop. Like for me, I'm also a rapper, so it's not like I'm saying all hip hop is bad. That's not like where my message comes from. But it's just knowing that there are so many within the hip hop community that I want them to know who Jesus is, and I want them to know there's another way to use the gift that He's given them. And I've also seen the negative impact that hip hop has within communities as well. That oftentimes music motivates violence, and it's the truth, it's a fact. And so, but it doesn't have to be that way. Music is a powerful tool, it's a powerful weapon, and in the hands of God, it can do so much, such a different work than what we see it doing. And so that's where I stand with my movement, and it's caused me to be able to run into a lot of different hip hop artists randomly walking down the streets, and I'll see an artist or see somebody. That's what allowed me to be like on the Breakfast Club. I ran into Charlemagne twice and prayed with him right on the street. It wasn't about like who I was or what I do. It was about a moment of touching heaven right there on the street. And that's what the movement is shaped around, like getting the message of Jesus within the hip hop community.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, Minister Trevor, why do young people carry guns?
Well, I think the reason why young people carry guns is not so much different when I was growing up why they carry guns. The scenario is the same. Uh, they want to be the big man on the block. They feel that they want to have this group. They want to threaten other people for whatever, a variety of reasons. But I'm not even going to say how old I am. But what I'm telling you, the reason that our young people are carrying gun is very, very similar to what these young people are saying now. So then that we begs the question as to why have we let this stretch go for this long, seeing what is going on in our community, looking at our age now, seeing when we were teenagers. Why is this still going on? I do agree with the young man to some degree. If we could get the community together, if we start policing ourselves, if we start loving ourselves and realize that we have the love to overcome many things and start being neighbors and acting and don't have this, well, I don't want to be, he's doing this, he's doing that. Start being neighbors to each other. Start understanding, and the church needs to be involved in it. We have more churches on the corner, as many as liquor stores. The church needs to be involved in it and come out and show the love of Christ. I think a lot of this stuff, and I agree with the young man, a lot of this stuff, where is the church? As you
Okay.
always say, Elder, where is it?
Okay. Okay. I want to hear from Apostle Keisha and Apostle Chris. I want to hear from both of you guys on this subject. Why are young people carrying guns?
Whenever a set of people feel disenfranchised, when they have been beat down, when they have been made to feel weak, unimportant, unvaluable, the only way to take their power back is to do something that is extreme. And so that's why we see so many of our young people with guns. We know the overall reason of why people carry guns: for protection, out of fear, all of those things. But the reality is, it's about power. If I live in a neighborhood and I own nothing in that neighborhood, and somebody in any moment can come and tell me to get out of my house, leave my apartment, take my car, drag my children out, drag my father out, drag my mother out, and beat them in the street, I don't own anything there. And so when I don't own anything, then I don't have any control or power. So the only way I can have power is to take it from somebody. Most of the time, unfortunately, it's being taken. We're taking it from the people that we should be connecting with and empowering. So that's my thought.
Apostle Chris, why are people carrying guns? Why would a black man carry a gun?
I'm going to say it like this. I don't have a crystal ball why people have. I think that that's a very broad question. But the main thing that really comes, it's a transfer of identity. It's a transfer of identity. The gun is nameless. The gun is powerful. The gun doesn't have any history attached to it most of the time that they know of anyway. And I think that it is just another way to identify, to be seen, to be recognized, to be reckoned with. And I think out of that, of course, we're much older than this current generation, but I had my brushes with the law as well. I think I was
not you, Pastor.
Yeah, I love it. Listen, 3 times, but I've had even greater bandwidth preaching in Elmira, Woodburn, Rikers, Queens, Center, and mentoring young people from various ages that now who are no longer a threat, or I wouldn't even say a threat to themselves, but now are contributing members of the society out of that understanding for the need to be seen. The gun says you have to see me. You have to respect me. You have to reckon with me. You have to fear me. It's all rooted in identity. And that identity is shaped, of course, gangs are about community. It's nothing new. Like
And about family. It's
I'm a
about
big Peaky
family.
Blinders fan that's really out right now. I'm a big Gangs of New York fan. I mean, gangs have been around. Church got gangs, really. To be honest with you, it's not it's a negative connotation on a community that I just believe that wants to be seen.
Okay.
And for us as men, especially, I think who are the main gun carriers, even though some sisters is doing it, is about that. This empowers me. This says you have to see me, and all that comes along with being seen.
Okay. Now, just as we speak, and I'm going to turn it over to Tillman so he can speak because I want to hear from them. They say that the reason why young people are carrying guns is because number one, it's for protection. They feel like they need to be protected from something, from others, and probably other gang members. Number two, it says it's the image. They carry a gun because it's the image and the way the culture has driven them. Third, they say they carry guns because they begin to hustle, and they know the gun is a powerful thing when they begin to hustle and do different things. Then they say they carry a gun because they want to make sure that people know that they are the threat and not to mess with them. So these are some of the things that say that we know that people carry guns for protection, for power. They carry guns to do illegal things. But now, Tillman, I want you to answer this question. Why do you think our young teens at 15 are carrying guns? I mean, 19 and 18 and 20 is
Yeah.
too young as well, but 15, why would a 15-year-old need a gun?
Yeah, I could. It's crazy because I agree with all those reasons, but I don't think none of those reasons is number one.
Okay.
Because I could tell you firsthand because I'm 19 years old, but I bought my first gun when I was 15. So I could actually speak to this. I really think the number one reason is fear. Cause it was not even for protection. Cause you don't. What you need protection from? It's really once you start going to school and you gotta worry about when this person, that person coming. After a while, you're gonna figure out you can't beat everybody. You're gonna want a gun. That's what you see on TV. That's what you see on social media. Then you got the drill music, it was amping it. So that's what we resulted to, guns. Now it's like
Yes.
now it's not about who can hit the hardest. It's about how many times I could shoot you or how many times you can shoot me.
And there's no fear in pulling the trigger. There's no fear, Tillman, in pulling the trigger. Is that easy to pull the trigger?
It's
Yeah.
it's definitely fair in pulling the trigger. I could speak to that. I'm not trying to throw my life away. It's some people that don't care. But me
Okay.
personally, I always did it just to like after a while, once I've created an image, because that was a part of it too. I created this image that I thought I wanted to be the biggest gangster. So now it's like people really started to hate me and want to kill me. So it's like, I need a gun.
Okay,
So
we're going to turn this back over to Joaquin. Joaquin, fill us in. Why do teenagers, 15, 14, 13-year olds, need to carry a gun?
It's multiple reasons though. So I could just do it like I'm I'm about to be 39. So back in my days, it was just really to protect yourself because you could be walking on a different block or seeing the wrong individuals, and just because you're not a familiar face over there, somebody would try to cause harm, right? You get some people blame it on the drill music. I don't really per se blame it on drill music, but it does play. It does has a factor in it. I'm just not gonna put the full blame on that. A lot of people carry guns because they just don't want to be the next person on the t-shirt either. And nowadays it's gang violence, but it's not the real gang violence. So the ratio of like Bloods and Crips to this day, it has went down versus the gangs from different blocks. So if you from this block and that block, we don't deal with this block or that block and it's up. You know what I'm saying? I live in I'm from, I ain't gonna say I live in the red zone area, but I'm always in the red zone area, which is Bed-Stuy, and it's shootings over there on a regular. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like hood beef that's from generations to generations to generations passed down. You know what I'm saying? And it's just as bad now because people want to know how many caps you got versus how many degrees you got. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
that plays a big factor in there as well.
Now, what happens the first 24 hours after the shooter has been locked up? What happens
Wait, as far as what, like in the hood or just like
when they
society?
locked up and when the police takes them off the street? What do they go through? Because we don't they don't get any type of mental illness treatment. They just take
They
them and lock them up.
no. So this how the process go. You get locked up. You sit in the precinct. Usually they catch you. You sit in the precinct from like 8 to 10 hours, right? Or maybe more, depending on it, right? So once you go to central bookings, that's when you see the mental health people. But
Oh,
people
right.
don't.
So you do see the mental health
Yeah, the
people.
people just don't want to talk to them. They everybody, hardcore. I'm fine. You get what I'm saying? But I know a lot of gangsters that shot guns, but and sell crying. You know what I'm saying? So it boils back to like them just you have an ego and pride that you don't want to seek the help because it's going to make you look weak. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like a person passing away. You know what I'm saying? You feel it, but on the outside you want to just be the strongest. You know what I'm saying? So you don't let it show, but then at night you cry every night. You know what I'm saying? So you do get to see mental health. So when they now if you go to now you see the judge. If you get remanded, you go to reception, and still you go to reception on Rikers Island. Let me be clear. You go to Rikers Island. Depending on the age, they put you. They depending on the age is where you get categorized. You know what I'm saying? And then like so, if you go to adolescence, when I was on Rikers Island at that time, it was ARDC. Now it's RNDC. You know what I'm saying? So they changed the whole name. You know what I'm saying? So when you in reception, you got to see medical. So you get to go see medical again to make sure you're all right and make sure your headspace is right. You know what I'm saying? So you get like two chances, but like I said, people deal with a lot of pride and egos where they just don't want to say nothing. You know what I'm saying? They got to be hard. You know what I'm saying? Because now you're on Rikers Island, now you have to be extra hard because you don't want nobody to look at you as a punk. So while you on Rikers Island, you always on a defense mode. And even on Rikers Island, they have mental health houses too.
Oh, so you
That's
do
why
get chances to
you
get
get you
some
get
type
you
of
get a lot of
mental
chances.
health treatment because that's what has always been one of my concerns. I mean, um,
Can I
and
say
another,
something?
I'm sorry.
Can I say something?
Yes, most certainly. Come on in, son.
Yeah, is what he said. A lot of what he said is true, but they don't really help you. Like me personally, I went through all of that. I spoke to them. They gave me medicine, and that's about it. That's all they do. They said they're gonna come. They supposed to meet with you once a month. 3 months go by, nobody comes to meet you. No, you don't speak to no therapist. Supposed to speak to the psychiatrist every 2 weeks. You don't speak to psychiatrists in 4 or 5 months. They just got you on meds, and they're not. Nobody's talking to you. Nobody's doing nothing. You gotta literally tell them, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna kill myself to get to a therapist." And nobody's doing that. I'm not doing that. So
Do they still got they used to have suicide watch. They still got suicide watches in there?
yeah, they got suicide watch, but you gotta
Okay.
really be
Yeah.
trying to kill yourself. That's why I'm not. I wasn't gonna get no suicide watch because I wasn't doing that.
Yeah.
Mm.
But they don't come talk to you, even if you're trying to seek the services.
Hmm.
They like string you along. They act like they're gonna help you, and they don't. They don't help you do nothing.
Now, when you get out, do they still offer you mental health uh, counseling?
They're
Depends
supposed
on
to.
where you getting out from. It depends. My bad, bro.
Yeah, they
So
supposed to give you like if you get released from the island, they supposed to send you to this whole building and get everything set up before they release you. But I got released from the courthouse, so like I had to technically call them or go stop into the center.
mhm.
So I did that, and they prescribed me my meds. So I got my meds, but that's about it. They don't give you a therapist and all that. I don't know.
So do you feel like the meds work?
Yeah, they work, but it's like I don't want to just be medicated and not speaking to nobody.
Mm,
What's the point of that? I could have went and got drugs by myself.
yeah.
Okay, what can we do? And then I'm gonna let the panel ask you guys some questions. What can we do? How can we help improve or communicate effectively to the 19-year-olds, to the 14-year-olds before it happens? We're so much into a reactive mode. What do you think we can do? Can we really tell when a child is at risk? I'm gonna let Apostle Keisha, come on. Can we not identify at-risk children to try to work with them before it gets so chaotic that there's no help? What can we do? I want to, Joaquin, I want you to go, and then I want you to go, Tillman. What can we do?
Okay, so I'm not an expert, so I wouldn't know how to identify the trauma before. I can only identify the acts after. You know what I'm saying? But they do have programs. They had a lot of things that I just feel like the this is how I feel, right? I'm be honest. When I was coming up, we had after school programs. We had different activity. We had things that we can go to. Uh, I wasn't a big fan of the PAL. I didn't go there, but I was like I was an internship to keep me on the right path, but I still strayed wrong, if that makes sense, right? Now, over the time as me being out in the community, uh there's not enough mentors, because not just young people need mentors either. Older people need mentors too. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't even help old ladies across the street like that no more. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like a lot of things change depending on the neighborhood you in. You know what I'm saying? They do have certain programs, but there's not enough programs to assist as well, because it's also on the parents' job to try to manage and be there for your kids, because it just everything just changed now. You feel what I'm saying? And if it was, I know it's one program, the guy named Barry Cooper, he had something called the Bro Experience, which he was getting the young kids, and most of the young kids in there didn't. He had a mixture. Some was into the street, some was not. Some was trying to stay on the right path, and I can't say if the other ones wasn't. You know what I'm saying? But I've done mentoring before. I used to go. Actually, I used to go on Rex down to speak to the kids. You know what I'm saying? And like, if we had enough of that, where kids' voices are being heard, it'll be better. It's like you just gotta have more activities and more hands-on trainings. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of these kids want to be drill rappers, so some people should just mentor him, get in the studio with him. You know what I'm saying? Something,
But
because
let me come in. But we know the type of drill music is what's really pushing the crime with our young people.
I
That
can't I can't really say that. I can't say that because I know kids from my era, we didn't have drill music. You know what I'm saying? And we still wound up doing things. You know what I'm saying? It's not. I know kids that don't even listen to drill music that's locked up. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna blame the drill music. But I know the drill music is a factor in it, but I'm not gonna solely just blame it too.
Okay, it's a fact because the drill music is sometimes violent. It's the
Hmm.
expression of what sometimes they're missing or they see their peers missing. Before you come in, Tillman, I want to bring Kiki in. What can we do, Kiki? What can we do?
I think we need to listen more to our young people, especially because, like, even like having conversations like this and getting to hear, like, their stories too, of like how where their journey led them into incarceration and things like that, and to see what they're doing now. I feel like it's important to hear it because it helps you to see the root as opposed to just looking at what the fruit are. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's important to have more dialogue. And like what he was saying earlier, sometimes when you look into a community, you could see like the beginnings of like something. We know when something's not right, you know, or like when somebody's just not doing right. And I think like especially with young people, let's look into their schools. How's their attendance at school? Who's not coming to class? What are they doing after school? Who are their friends? Like you can see circles that look a little shifty. And it's like instead of for like walking past and saying, I'm gonna do this, how about having conversations? How about having more sit downs where you let them see a face that's not gonna just judge them by their appearance or judge them by where they live, but actually be a mentor and be able to stand in that gap and say like, yo, I'm here if you need to talk. So if they're not getting the services in other places, maybe they need a big brother, big sister. And my thing is with music, just to go back to that a little bit, I agree it's not only the music, but I feel like it's also environment. It's also what they're around that feeds, because a lot of things too, it starts with the thought. You meditate on a thought long enough, it's gonna sprout actions. It's just like a seed. You plant a seed, you water that thing, it's gonna bear fruit. I feel the same thing about whatever you're involved in at all times. It's gonna water your actions. So we need to be able to show other options, to show that there is another way that you can live, another way that you can show forth what's inside of you, the gifts, the talents, your abilities, your dreams. Like I feel like that's such a thing that's not talked about anymore with young people. What is your dream? What do you want to be when you grow up? It's not just this influencer or YouTube thing. It's like, what else can you be? What else is in you? Like I feel like there's not enough conversations about that anymore too.
Okay, Tillman, what can we do to help? What do you see that we can do to help to support, to do better, to identify? What can we do, Tillman?
I think everything they said, but it's really like just better in the communities. Like we need more opportunities. Cause I know I had a passion for football. I really love football. I wanted to go to the NFL at a point, and I was really good at it. But my mom couldn't pay for it no more, so I couldn't play no more. So I feel like if I had a way to keep playing, or like I always used to say, like I wish my mom had enough money or somehow, then maybe I would have never start doing other things that was easier for me to do that didn't cost no money.
Okay, now we're going to open it up. We're going to have Minister Trevor. Your first question to them, to the panel.
He sort of answered my question, a young man. I wanted to know what two reasons. Why did you guys drop out of school? I hear like very young age, 12, 13, very young age, and I want to know what happened the day before that you wanted to drop out of school. Nobody was checking the attendance. Nobody was saying that you weren't in school. Nobody was saying that you were skipping classes. What happened in that process that you decided, I don't want this and I'm going to the street? What happened the days before?
Who's that for?
Any one of you young men that want to
Oh,
answer.
I didn't drop out 13. I didn't drop
Well,
out.
what
Actually,
age?
I
Well,
actually what happened was I caught a case, and that case alone got me on Rikers Island and got me to sit up until I went upstate. When I was upstate, I tried my best to do the progress, but once again, the environment didn't let that happen. And when I came home from like doing that, I've been to GEDs. I just never finished because I had a lot of different engagements that was time sensitive and financial more for me and my livelihood than getting my GED.
Okay,
So
Tillman, you want to tackle this question?
yeah, like what you just said, I stopped really going to school. COVID hit when I was in seventh grade, so I didn't have to go to school no more. Literally, everything was online. Like I said, the school is giving out like laptops and stuff, but they wasn't giving out Wi-Fi. My mom couldn't really have Wi-Fi like that, so I couldn't even really go to school. So it's like I'm outside. I'm going outside now. I start getting to other things because I don't got to physically go into school. And then when they came back the next year, they was doing 2 days in school, 3 days online, and I was doing it for a little bit, and then I just stopped going. I was going to school and doing all my work because I was smart, and then stopped going back. And then they just gave me a diploma.
Okay, all right. The apostles. Your question for the panel.
Do you have a question?
No, I really don't have a question. I think that they have coined well the experiences and the reinforce the idea that it's not a singular solution. It's not about activity. We have activities like I walk the community. I volunteer for community control.
Feed the community.
I feed the community. I'm a business owner in the community. I take young men under, all around. That's just, what I do. And I'm not saying that from a braggadocious point of view, but I'm just saying in terms of not saying that I'm not in touch. What I'm saying to you is what I think, what they have coined so well for us is that they're, especially with Shakur, when he talks about, the things, his plight was the plight that happened from a mom that was trying to provide for her family and had some inequities and some challenges, economic challenges, which I come from a single mom, right? So again, age is age. It's the same brick with a different color, bottom line, right? The music is not the only it's the culture. It's the whole Black community culture that interfaces with the church, but the church is not the problem. It's so many different systemic things.
But I gotta come in, Apostle. You give me permission to come in. I feel the church is a problem. It's one of the problems. I feel the church is one of the problems. Now, I'm not saying your church, but if we look at Brooklyn,
no. I think I disagree. You came, so you and we both came out of doing youth ministry, right?
Yes.
Where we had hundreds of kids. That the church has been doing what it. Listen, you can't
but Chris, I gotta come in. The kids we had was not the same kids that we're faced with now. We cannot say
they the same kids because they didn't went to jail. They done had out of wedlock pregnancies. They done did all the. So again, it's the same brick. You just got red now versus yellow. It's the same brick, and I
disagree. Different society, different challenges.
Okay, I'm gonna still push back.
But let me say this. No, you're my brother. I love you. But what I'm saying is, if we look at the amount of churches on Fulton Street,
that's Brooklyn, not open. That don't open, but once one day out the week.
Are you sure that they open only once a week? Yes. Are we sure that they open once a week? Because because the doors are not
I'm from your hood too.
Doesn't mean they're not open. Listen, our doors are not open, but our church is open. Our numbers are available. We're having a conversation.
Now your church is over. Your church is open, but there's churches in Brooklyn on Fulton Street. I agree with Raheem. They are not open. They open on Sunday. They close it up
plenty of times. I've canvassed the neighborhood. Go to businesses from Tompkins down to Fulton Street. I know this for a fact. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying what y'all not doing, but y'all.
No. It's not personal. It's not personal.
No, it's not personal.
It's not personal.
It's not personal, but some churches only open once a week.
I
knocked on the church door and they were snotty, and I had to look up and say, "How you snotty in the house of the Lord?" So
how you
snotty? I knocked on the church door like during my campus.
No, I got. Listen, you. That's just like saying all Black kids are on the streets. Like again, so you're gonna have good kids. You're gonna have good church. You're gonna have bad church, right? You're gonna have good politicians. You're gonna have bad politicians. You're gonna have good drug dealers. You got bad drug dealers, right? There's good drug dealers that help the community, even though they selling their product. They help the community. Listen, I'm telling you, as a person who's a business, who has a food truck, I'm telling you, came out of Bed-Stuy, went to school in Bed-Stuy, all of that. So I'm trying to tell you, again, I think if we pigeonhole this and look for somebody to blame, listen, some of those churches have been around longer than we've been around. We don't know their history. And a lot of churches like Shakur's mom have a struggle of resources. You're going to have snotty people wherever you go. You go to college, you got snotty people. Anywhere you go,
I'm going to throw it to Apostle. I'm going to throw it to Lakeisha. I'm going to throw it to Lakeisha. What is the church's, not just your church's, mandate? What is the church mandate to come out of the four walls?
Well, The church's mandate, watch this, is to go into the world and make disciples.
Yes.
That's our mandate. Hold on. That's our mandate.
Right.
It's to go into the world and to make disciples. To make disciples means that we're making people who follow, who are surrendered and submitted to the word of the Lord. So whatever that looks like, whether it be how we draw them in is what you others, when people look at us, what you're looking at, not necessarily what our mandate is, but the draw. Are we drawing? So every church has a different
it's also
process
to go for the lost. It's also to draw the lost.
Well, that's how we make disciples. You're discipling
That's how you make
the
disciples. That's
right.
how
That's where it's coming from.
So we
we're
stay
looking
in the
for the
inside of the wall and don't go out. And now I'm not talking about you guys, but I got the pastors on here, so I got to go out.
Okay, so you know what? Listen, you know I'm highly evangelistic. Like streets is what I love. But I think when we talk about draw. When we look at draw, for some churches, it's relational. Some churches never go out and do evangelism, but they are full because they have relationship. What this gentleman is, when he went back to his hood, I listened to the video. They say, yo, you know this hood. You got credibility because you have relationship with us, with this hood. We know your history. We know your development. Now we see your future. Therefore, we have relationship. You cannot judge a church, which I have done. And I'm telling you, you cannot judge a church because it doesn't fit into the paradigm of what we feel is the way to reach the lost.
I'm not judging the church, but I'm saying the doors of the church should be open. They should be open, not just open on Sunday.
If you got pews in there, what's that going to do?
They should be open. A lot of those pastors are in there. They should be giving clothes out. They should be providing mental health therapy.
There's so much of that going around. So much of that. It's overkill.
I don't know. I think
we don't need another feeding program.
Yeah.
You're right about that. We don't need another feeding.
I think every church outside of the church as a whole mandate, they have their own passion, right? And so each church has a passion, right? Ours just so happen to be more community based, more outreach based. That's the passion. You may have another church that has another passion. Doesn't mean that they don't have a love for the community.
Seniors, they might love seniors.
Our passion is supposed to be for the lost.
What does the law? Who defines what the loss is? How do you define what is lost? How do you define? Listen, there was people that was lost in the house. There were people that the woman that lost the coin. The woman that lost the coin lost the coin in the house.
Yes, she did. But you know what I'm saying. We're talking about the lost outside the walls of the church. And let me just say something. These are my brothers and sisters, and I love them.
Love each other.
But I can't put this okay,
this family thoughts fine.
Okay, Kiki, what do you think?
This is real conversation. Like I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of conversation. I'm not afraid to rethink the conversation.
That's right. Kiki, what you think? Let me bring in a young person in. I don't want us to
walk away with the blame.
The blame is not on the church. It's on the community. It's on the politician.
It's on the family. It's on the family. The primary failure is the family.
Because before they get to church,
the family is only made of people, families.
Right. The church is made of families.
Listen. I didn't
Let me bring Kiki in. Let me bring Kiki in. Kiki, what you think about the church? Kiki, what do you think about discussion?
I think that it's true, like we can't blame the church, but I feel like the church also can take accountability for where they can improve. And like for me, when I think about what they were saying about like different churches have different passions, if there's a bunch of churches like within one community, why can't those churches come together and say like, hey, I'm like, so that way it's like they're coming together as one body, even though they all have different things that they handle. So say if one church in this block likes evangelism, this one has a feeding program. It's like, why does it have to be a competition sometimes amongst churches of like, who's doing this, who's doing that? Instead, come together and show the community that the church also works together. Because sometimes when people coming off the streets, they come into the church and they're not seeing any unity either. And then they'll go to this one and this one's talking about this one. So there's division everywhere. I just feel like as a church, we have a calling to show forth different fruit than what we're seeing in the streets, what we're seeing in broken communities. We have that call because we know, especially those who know better, you do better. And not to say that the church has to be perfect, because that's one thing people always feel like, that just because somebody's walking with the Lord, that everything about them has to be perfect. We make mistakes too. The church definitely, the Bible's full of people who made mistakes.
All
And
day,
so
every day, all day.
Yeah, yeah.
exactly. So it's like to
Yeah, but
show them that you can't, even in making that mistakes, we're not straying from what we know to be true. We're not straying from what we know to be right. But I do feel like that there needs to be more of the church outside of the building. And like, even if that, say if there's like, again, if that's not your, hey, this church, you guys are doing outreach, how can we support you within a church? There can be teams. If there might be somebody who does want to do evangelism, but because their church doesn't do it, they don't know where to do it at. So why aren't we collectively like taking over a whole community as one kingdom? That's one thing I think we forget. That is not us building our little communities here and there. It's one kingdom when it comes to Christ.
Okay. Do we think that gun violence is a public health issue? I'm directing that question at you, Apostle Lakeisha, because you are the social work expert. Do we think it's a public health issue?
Well, I'm actually I'm an educator, and I do I counsel too. But at this present time, I'm an educator, as well. I think ask me that question one more time because I want to
Is
be
gun
clear.
is gun violence a public health issue?
Oh wow, I do think it is because gun violence is so much broader than our community. You know, when you play that song, Self Destruction, it brought back a strong memory of when the inception or what created the inception. Now, when we talk about, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna date myself, that during that time, one of the things that was a challenge in many of our communities is that guns were placed in our community. There was a time that many of our people didn't even have access to guns like they have now. It just wasn't a thing. But the guns and the drugs were placed in the community. And so, meaning that they came from somewhere else and someone else had a plan to put them in the community so that it could cause or wreak havoc. And it's done exactly what it was set out to do. So when we talk about guns, we cannot pigeonhole it to just our community. Guns is a systemic global problem because we're currently in a war with another, in another country right now. So guns are so much bigger than our community, and it's been almost like something that has been worshipped in this country.
It's economy.
Yeah,
guns is economy. It's NRA,
like
baby. It's NRA.
It is.
I mean, if we really ready to go to it, I could go.
Business.
I could have called it long time. It's NRA, and it's just let them kill themselves,
right? And
let
that's
them
what's
self-destruct. They, and while pushing the agenda when they go to Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah. At one point, we did have at the White House. We had a gun prevention office there, but since the new president came in, he closed the White House Office of Gun Violence. So we don't even have people now pushing that. You can look at that. It was the standards was changed and became different, and so the monies was taken away from us. So there's a lot of monies that we were using, we're not using now because there's not available to us. Rakeem, what do you think? What can we do to be better? What can we do to be better? Tillman, what can we do to be better? Do you think that we need to have mobile crisis units out to counsel people? Do you think that every time we have an incident, we need to put have a mobile counselor van, van that has counselors in it to start counseling communities? Do you think that would help?
Well, that would help because so every time somebody gets shot, technically all the cure violence are supposed to get together and they're supposed to do a shooting response. So on top of doing the shooting response, I feel like if they had the mobile crisis van to give the services, whatever's rendered, like if mental, whatever, it'll be better. You know what I'm saying? But it seems like I don't think somebody have that real idea to put it, or I guess it's not enough money to push it through the whole 5 boroughs. I don't know. But if I feel like if they had more of those, I ain't gonna say it'd be better, but it's worth a try.
Okay.
Anything's
That
worth
was
a
one of
try.
the things that I had thought about. How about you, Tillman? What you think?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was kind of saying like what I was about to say is I think the other young lady she said it right. Like everybody got to come together. It can't just be one. This you got to be able to know somebody everywhere you go. Everywhere you traveling, there got to be somebody there where it's a safe space where I can't. I only know people in my neighborhood. We got to take buses, trains. We gotta have people everywhere to where we know that there's safe spaces.
Okay, okay. This is a
I have a
problem.
I have a question
Yes.
because I hear the same thing from all of us. All of us are saying the same thing. My question is, when we say we all have to get together, what does that look like? We're the church. Then you have other entities and other entities. What does that look like to everyone? Everyone says we ought to just get together. Does that mean that when I invite you to my event, you're going to come? Does that mean, what does that all look like? I would love to know that from everybody.
Okay,
I think that's
Joaquin,
that's the
Joaquin.
church. We want to know.
Yeah,
Well,
Joaquin. What does that look
I
like?
think Keelanda said it, but I'm gonna touch on it and I'm gonna let her finish. When she said we all need to come together as collaboration, meaning you, elder, whoever, we come into this a room, we put these ideas on the paper, and we make it happen. That's what I'm gonna say, but I'm gonna let her touch more bases on that.
Okay.
I would say yes that, and I think it's like this what's happening right now to have more conversations, and then where we can figure out ways to have action points after that, where it's not just like, because even like listening to like Tillman's story and Greasy's story, it makes me think a little bit about how I form what I do. It changes my perspective already of like how I see things, and so just having conversations like this is so important, and to continue it, and like, and what you said is a good idea. Like if you're having an event, even if we can't physically be there, we could post it up, because now we see your heart, we see where you're coming from. So it's like now we're getting to know you, so I know that if I send people to your event, they're going to be amongst people who will see them eye to eye. So it has to be a thing of getting to know one another, who have the same heart, who have the same mindset, because you want to know that if I'm telling a young person to go to your church that lives in your neighborhood, I want to know that when they come in there, and if they smell like weed, or their clothes are a little baggy, that they're going to be embraced and shown the love of Christ, as opposed to telling them immediately, pull that up, why you smell like that. I want to know that, hey, if I get to know you and I know that they're going to go there and they're going to be safe, like I like what Tillman said, a safe space. We need to get to know more people who have a safe space, so that way, like, again, if I know somebody who's near you, I can be able to say, look, or Instagram or social media, such a good platform to be able to promote what's going on in other communities that I may not be at. Or the same for you, you could promote where I'm at. So that's a thing of coming together as well. And like I said, that it shouldn't stop here. Like I enjoyed hearing each one of your hearts and like what you do for your communities, and to know, and it's also encouraging to know that we're not the only ones who see that there's another way.
That's another
I
way. Minister
can I
Pat, do you have anything you like to say?
can I just say something real quick,
Yes,
please?
Yeah. Wait,
yeah.
wait,
After her,
wait. Let me bring Joaquin in. Go ahead,
just
Joaquin.
real quick, just real quick. So when I was with my last organization before I'm with the one now, what we used to do every month, me and the program director, we used to hold a space called the Village Circle, where we invited the community in there and like tell us what they may have needed, or just a safe space. We had and just fast forward to recent, we had a yogi medicine man that used to come in and do like holistic healing. May it be like something with your headache holistically, or if you need to like speak to somebody because you had some heavy things on your heart. It was like that. His name was Asif, and from there, that's why I got the idea for what I do now. But I'm gonna pass back to the pastor.
Okay. Mr. Trevor, you have any question you want to ask?
Yes, now what I was thinking of, because I am an educator. That is really what I do and who I am. And when she was talking about, the young lady was talking about us getting together, one church, and this was your idea, I'm not taking it from you, Elder. The one church can do the reading program one day, Tuesday, Wednesday. One church can do the math, social studies, science. This way it wouldn't be a burden on the entire church, on the one church, and the community can come together. I think one problem with our young people is that the education system has failed them. And because I am an educator, I have done many things to pull my kids out. For an example, if I would have known that young man, and things have come to my office, that young man did not have money, his mom didn't have money. If we knew that, we
Mm-hmm.
would have made sure you got that money. If we knew that, I can't tell you the things that has happened in our office that we put out money with. Not to say brag of this, that, and the other, but if our community needs it, we needs it. They need things personally. They need things educationally. The problem is that I'm trying to decipher is why are our children dropping out of school and going into these gangs and getting in trouble? That's
Well, the
what I'm trying
gangs,
to.
I think, and we got to do a part two. The gangs represent a family,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So what
and
is it? Why? But so why? A school is supposed to be. That's how they have these community schools. But the school is supposed to be a decipher of a family too.
but
That is what a school is supposed to do with the emphasis on education.
but
Our
gangs.
children are not being educated.
But see, one of the
Why?
And
things that a gang
once they leave
represents
school, they lose the family.
is the family. That's
Once they
right.
leave school, they lose the family. I'm an
Absolutely.
educator as well, and we there
The,
and we are tight knit.
the
We
game.
actually I educate children who have what they call intellectual delays, and also children who have behavioral issues.
Right.
And they're tight knit when they're at school,
Uh huh.
and they're great when they're at school, and they're loved when they're at school. We love them, we teach them, we give them community, but then they have to go home. And when they go home, that's when all craziness
But
happens. And
don't you think
every
it? Don't
Monday
you
when they
think
come back, it's a fight.
But
Now,
don't you
Joaquin,
think
you
it's
want to
the
come in?
obligation of
Yeah,
the
yeah. I
school?
just
What?
want gangs offer family, sensibility, and somewhat accountability. You feel me?
Okay.
Like I'm not condoning in gangs, but gangs have their own codes and conduct they live by anyway. You know what I'm saying? So a wild youth could go over to a gang and not be as wild as when he wasn't with that gang too. You know what I'm saying? It depends on the elder in that gang who's gonna put them on the right path as well. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because gangs is really supposed to control the community in a good way, not in a bad way.
Interesting. I
Mm-hmm.
never would look at it like that, but maybe
Mm-hmm.
that's a different thought, right, Apostle Chris? Maybe that's a different thought. That's a different thought.
I said that. I said that
You said
in my
it.
discourse that gangs are not. They're good. Just and again, I've dealt with good drug dealers who have said to me, "Hey, feed those 10 people that's strung out on crack on heroin." Even I know he's feeding them heroin, but at least want to get them fed. So again, it's as this young man just said. Again, I don't think negatively about gangs. That's not even my mentality. I'm not, again, for me, I'm not trying to be the cure all to be all. I think you have to know your lane. I think you have to operate like Jesus said this for Kia, is that you got sheep that are not of this fold. Like Jesus was dealing with the same things we're dealing with today, the same things with the church, same things with the temple, same things. Like it's all your perspective of how broad you are. Like I've traveled the world, right, and again, been in psychological offices, been prescribed for medications, like again, personally, and then again, interacting with guys, 30 guys at a time, having no father, and then being a father to those 30 guys at a time to make sure that they don't go in the way of of quote unquote the statistic. So none of the things that we're saying is a shock to me, or that there's an epiphany that happens. All it just tells us is that we have to be about our Father's will. I believe one person changes a nation.
Absolutely.
Each one of us She has
each
the,
one of us. But I guess one of my concerns is, and we're not going to be able to answer this, is that we have a lot of young people that are dying by gun violence. And a lot of churches are refusing to bury them, to eulogize them inside of the church for fear of retaliation. I'm not a pastor, so I'm not going to speak on that. But what I will say is that having that amount of young people and introducing them to God at that moment could be their greatest understanding of who God is, because many of them have never been in a church. And when something tragically happens, they come into the church and we have an opportunity to speak to them. Now, I want you to address that, Pastor Chris and Apostle Keisha, because that is a concern.
That is a concern. And the fact that that's happening, it's heartening. It's heartening to me. In all honesty, I can't speak to that because that's not who we are. And for other pastors to do that, their responsibility as shepherds is to protect the sheep. If they feel like that in that moment that may put their sheep and at harm's risk, I can't speak to that. Us as leaders of our ministry, we have a responsibility to our sheep. If we know that someone is going to come into our fold and they may mishandle, as a matter of fact, things like have happened like that before, where people have come into our fold and have mishandled the sheep, it's our responsibility as the shepherds to handle the misguided sheep. And so as leaders, a lot of times we're caught in the middle, right? As we've seen in the chat that the church doesn't take accountability. When the church does take accountability, then you're being too hard or you're not being fair. So we're caught in the middle. We can't toe the line, and we have to do what our designated assignment is, and as shepherds, and that's to protect the sheep. If in that moment a shepherd feels like their sheep may be at risk, then that shepherd has a responsibility to protect the sheep. And so I cannot go against that. But what we will say is that's not something that we have experienced or that we in the current environment would do. And so for those who have experienced that, my heart does go out to them, because what parent doesn't want to bury their children properly? I definitely
I think
can
the
feel
space
that.
is more the thing. So the unique part about us is we are e-community, so that wouldn't be something that we would have to face. I don't think the pastors refusing to bury it. I think the pastor's saying you can't use this building.
This particular space.
Yes, the space, because they are afraid of what can happen in the space. Rakeem, you got the last word. What would you like to leave us with? This is WarCry, and you have the last word. What would you like to leave us with?
I think the last word should be hope, progression, and it got to. If we're gonna try to help out, it starts now, because it's only gonna get worse later. So let's try to stop it now. That's the best. My last words.
Okay. This is WarCry. We had a great conversation. Wait till part 2 come. I thank you guys for being a part of this conversation and this community. This is WarCry. Thank you, pastors. Thank you, educators. Thank you, Kiki. Thank you, Tillman. Thank you, Joaquin. This was a great conversation. This is WarCry. I'll see you next 2 weeks for another great conversation. This is WarCry. WarCry for Our Children, where the street meets the sanctuary and purpose meets power. Join me, Elder M, intercessor, street evangelist, prayer warrior, advocator for justice. We stand in the gap in the streets, in the courtyards, in the schoolyards, in the church, and on the block. This ain't just prayer. It's intercession. It's advocacy. We deal with real problems. Criminal justice, social justice, gun violence, social media, catfishing, human trafficking,
mental illness, education disparities. We deal with it all here on WarCry. Our community has a voice. It's called WarCry. Each week, we link arms with community leaders, educators, pastors, parents calling out injustice. This is WarCry. This is not just a podcast. It's more than a moment. This is a movement. Join us. Let's give a voice to the problem and be the solution.
Trying not to lose my head. It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep them going.
WarCry. We're going to speak out for our children. Let freedom ring? No, there cannot be freedom until there's justice. WarCry, join us Mondays, 11 a.m. I'm just about to lose my mind. This is WarCry. Oh, they're trying to turn time back. But let us get out and give a voice to the problem. This is WarCry. Join us, be with us, or be gone. Don't push us. This is WarCry.
Trying not to lose my head. It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under.
We're not going under. This is WarCry.